Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome to Hy-Vee Today. This is Tony Tone. It is Tuesday, the 10th of September, inside the Market Grill Express here at Hy-Vee, 2400 2nd Avenue, right off Highway 61. It's great to be with you if you're watching us live in the morning on cable or Facebook or YouTube. Boxcast has an app you can watch on your Roku streaming device. Thanks for being with us. If you're catching this at night or sometime in the distant future, this is a talk show inside a grocery store, the only one of its kind, and we're happy that you found it. Maybe you've stumbled upon the show and you've become a habitual viewer. That's a pretty big word. Try not to use too big of words on this show, mainly because I want to make sure I'm understanding them and using them correctly. I want to mention something that is causing a controversy on the social media. Last night at the Muscatine school board meeting, it seems like it was decided upon to rename West Middle School, right, after Susan Clark. So that happened, and a lot of people have a lot to say, and some of those opinions are ugly. I'm just going to put it out there. So I would do this, educate yourself on Alexander Clark and Susan Clark, and then maybe help that shape your opinion before you just say, I can't believe they're changing the name. I know that change is tough and scary and different, but you have a computer in your pocket. You can access information. Remember when you had to go to the library? And Chad, feel free, put the journal story back up there. That's perfect. We can help people. Like back in my day, you have to go to the library and get the card catalog and then find information. So Susan Clark, this is happening, and this is a big thing. I just wonder if we scroll a little bit, because of course the misinformation game is like, how much is it going to cost to rename the school? I saw one comment that just didn't even seem like it could be a realistic amount. I don't feel like I'm seeing any dollar signs in there. But listen, it's a big deal. A lot of people pushed for that. Keep in mind, the school district also opened it up for suggestions. You could be looking at the Tony Tone School. Is that what you want? Nobody needs that, right? Like Susan Clark is. Thank you, Scott Dalkey. Nobody wants that, but the Susan Clark, yes, it makes sense. And again, if you. I just, the comments, Muscatine community chat, boy, could do without it most days. So, and I'm not saying that people aren't entitled to their opinion. I'm just saying educate yourself before you speak, or think before you speak sometimes. Because I understand that you might not know who that is. You might not know the story of Alexander Clark, but you can, in a minute, like we just showed you, the story from the journal, right there, boom. That's all you probably need to know. You could dive deep and learn more if you want to, but just take a breath, will you? Jiminy crickets. People are just so knee-jerking on social media. Scott, is Scott Dalkey's mic turned on? Let's just get to him, because I want you to weigh in on this. You're not here to talk about this per se.
No,
but it is pressing. Scott Dalkey, Executive Director, MCSA. What
yes,
were you
Tony.
Go ahead.
I love being here with you, man.
Thank you.
But I look at all that stuff too, and it fries me up too. But
sure.
I look at the positives, that so many people are interested in their community.
Yes.
And so there was 430 comments this morning when I looked at there this morning.
That's a lot.
So to me, that was the community. That was me looking at that and say, look how many people are interested in what's happening to our town. And so that uplifts me. Yeah. I do wish it wasn't so negative.
Sure.
I think progress is progress,
Yeah. It's pretty cool to have that. I mean, I also came from a part of the world like Oak Park, Illinois. There was Percy Julian and Emerald. There's these different schools named after people. It wasn't super uncommon where I grew up. So I just hope that, again, you just take a minute, educate yourself a little bit, and then go from there. I'm not saying...
I heard a quote just last week. Everybody loves progress.
Sure.
It's change they don't like. So
yeah, that can be true, isn't it?
And that's just the natural course of things. Is that change is a little hard. People always want progress, and I think overall I read those comments and people want some progress. They want, but when they see the actual change happening, it just becomes a little difficult.
And I understand that, like, the people that are like, it'll always be West Middle. That's fine. Like, you still maybe think the movie theater is in the mall. I don't know.
I would encourage, though, all of those 413 or 30 comments that I saw, can they come down and offer to be on your show?
Yeah.
Can they come down to MCSA and chat with me? Can they go down to the
Sure.
school board and chat with the school board? Can they go to city council and let their voice be known there?
That's a good idea.
Can we turn Facebook, community chat
And do a positive.
into volunteerism?
Yeah.
Into being involved in our community, which is one of the things I worry about with my generation of people.
Sure.
You're a good dude and you're involved. Can we get more people involved beyond just posting on Facebook?
I will say that social media definitely has its upsides. And Scott got me a birthday card, and I want to open this in a second, but because it seems like it's a funny birthday card. But last Thursday was my birthday, and I had seen other people do this where you can fundraise on Facebook. And for your birthday, you can say, for my birthday this year, I'm taking donations. So I just thought I'll try it for the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter, and it's up to $400. And that's
you killed it.
fantastic.
First of all, absolutely thank you. When I get on Facebook, I mean, I'm a person first, and then
Sure.
MCSA second. But when I see you get on there and you try to do something that's good for the community, that's really touching.
Well, I'm not the only
Really
person
touching.
that's done it. I just wanted to see if it actually worked, because I've seen as you scroll, people do this, and I thought, and they're always worthwhile causes. And I, for sure, the domestic violence shelter, I know that they can always use help. So yeah, if you donated, thank you very much. I want to open this card really quick.
Yeah, I'm a big nerd, Tony. I don't get to see you all the time, but I do watch your Facebook posts.
That's hilarious. It's a hamster birthday card.
Yeah.
With googly eyes.
Aren't you always on
This is
Facebook about your
fantastic.
hamster?
Yeah,
Or is it a gerbil?
No, it's a hamster. Pickles. Thank
Pickles
you.
the hamster.
The second most read article at discovermuscatine.com is the first Talk of the Town column with Pickles. See, the thing is that Pickles goes on these adventures because my 4-year-old leaves his cage open.
Oh.
So that's the whole thing, right? When I eventually write the Adventures of Pickles, the hamster children's book, and become filthy rich and donate a lot of money back to MCSA,
Please.
the story will always end with Pickles and his friends having these adventures because the 4-year-old has left the cage open. He's not really getting out. He hasn't turned like a hamster toothbrush into a file. He's not cutting through the bars. Nobody sent him a hamster cake with a knife in it. But
we made
appreciate
that Boots
This is
book.
awesome. I was going to say Boots is at MCSA.
Yeah, we got that Boots book.
the cat.
So we should pair that up with the
Sure.
Pickles book.
Yeah, I would love to make that happen. I'm all for what you're doing. And there has been a lot of good news coming out of your building at MCSA on Iowa Avenue in downtown Muscatine. I guess I want to start by talking about the peer drop-in, because I didn't even know that was happening, and then I saw it on the news, and anytime Muscatine can get on Quad City TV News and it'd be a good story like that is fantastic. So what was the background on that? And I guess maybe for folks that don't know, can you just explain briefully the peer drop-in space?
So
and then how that came
the
to
elevator
be?
pitch for the Peer Drop-In Center is it's just a nice place for people to go. It's a warm and cozy place for people struggling with mental health disorders to just go relax. It's going to be like a living room and coffee house. Not going to be. It is. It is currently accepting clients. So it's a living room / coffee house feel. The idea just being that you can go and sit down, relax. We have these checker tables that you can play checkers at. It's staffed by professionals that we contracted with Robert Young Center for. So if you do need somebody to talk to, if you do need some help, there will be somebody there that will engage you. It's so free. There's no requirements.
Awesome.
There's no qualifications. You literally just come in, turn the TV on, or don't turn the TV on, play checkers, whatever it is that's your pleasure, and relax. We have found, research has shown, that treatment is much more effective when it comes from other people that have experienced similar situations
Sure.
to you.
Yep.
So the whole idea of peer is that it's somebody else, there's professionals there that have themselves experienced mental health issues. So they've struggled with depression, or they've got a kid with depression, and they're there sharing their story of hope and how they got through that with people that are accessing the service.
It's a good thing to talk about, and I don't even know if you knew this, but today, September 10th, is World Suicide Prevention Day.
I did know that.
So certainly having this new space, this dedicated space at MCSA is great. I just, you have so much in your building, and I don't know how you could ever expand short of taking over maybe the former library, but it's incredible that you're able to put that space in because, yes, we absolutely need that. a great resource for the community.
I just am so passionate about MCSA because we're trying our hardest to look at the whole person. You know, how does MCSA become a catalyst?
Sure.
You know, and you talk to me, you talk to my predecessor, and we're always looking at the systemic issues, the root cause. You know, you talk to people who are big into lean manufacturing, and they want to do root cause analysis. And so what can MCSA do that's more than just throwing water on a fire?
Sure.
That's raking out the leaves and making sure that the fire never pops up again. And part of that is all the services that we've got inside MCSA. And I think you just need to put your ego aside and say, I can't do it all, but there's all these experts out there that can.
Right.
So why not bring them on and make them part of our program? This will probably be one of the most fully integrated programs that's not MCSA,
Sure.
but still is MCSA.
Right.
You won't be able to tell if you walk in the door what's the Robert Young Center and what's MCSA, and you won't be able to really tell, besides the color of their name badge, who's a MCSA staff and who's a Robert Young staff. So I'm really excited. And again, anybody can come.
Right.
There's no income qualifications,
Sure.
and you don't have to accept services. You can just literally come and hang out.
I mean, if you need to de-stress, unplug, MCSA, a hub in the community. Betty Collins was here yesterday, Musser Public Library, a hub for the community,
Absolutely.
right? And if you're watching and you've never set foot in MCSA, go, please. Check it
No,
out.
now more than ever. We got this. The funding for this center was provided by the Eastern Iowa Mental Health Disability Region.
I did not know that. That's good to know, yeah.
So we wouldn't have the money to do it ourselves.
Sure.
So with that gracious funding, we're able to do it. And with that funding, we've got new flooring in there. We've got new furniture. We've got some new lighting, new fixtures.
Yeah.
So it's a whole fresh new look. Like I said, I'm hoping for that relaxed coffee house feeling. There's been a lot of comments. We're trying to decide whether to go with a black ceiling or not. And so everybody comes in and they chime in on whether they think a black ceiling is the right way to go or not. My thought is that a black ceiling would make it like disappear.
Sure.
And you could just live right here in the moment. But our walls are like this sleek gray color now and matched with this teal. It's supposed to be calming for people with mental health issues.
I was just at MCSA for a meeting and I didn't even know. I think it's because the meeting was downstairs and I didn't even know that this was going in upstairs. But it is really exciting, and it was great to get that coverage from the Quad City TV News. And then at the same time, the Facebook feed for MCSA, as we were just looking at the page, Adopt a Day, sponsorships are in full swing. So again, for folks that don't know, Scott, you have an opportunity for businesses to step up to the plate to adopt a day. And that's where they provide X amount of dollars to, like, literally, correct me if I'm wrong, cover a day of operations for MCSA.
Yeah, so we broke down basically what the cost is to run the 2 homeless shelters.
Sure.
MCSA obviously has a bunch of different programs, but what is the actual cost to operate the 2 homeless shelters? And we roughly came up with $1,500 per day to keep those doors open. And so this Adopt a Day campaign is we go and solicit all of the businesses in Muscatine, and they could sponsor to keep our doors open for a day.
Sure.
It's one of our most important fundraisers, and there's Hoffman Incorporated with their Adopt a Day. So $1,500, keep the door open. It's our most important fundraiser, not our most important, one of our most important fundraisers. Sure. Without it, we wouldn't exist. So if you know of anybody who might be interested, if you know somebody that we should be calling and asking, I know that the downtown's always changing.
Sure.
So what new businesses can we get involved in? I'm not going to brag, or maybe I will, but we have a pretty good Facebook following.
Absolutely.
So let's take advantage of some of that marketing, right? Come on and sponsor a day and reap the rewards of letting us tell your story. Sure. Hy-Vee has typically always been part of our Adopt a Day campaign. Is there something you want us to put out there on blast for you guys? Not necessarily Hy-Vee because you're huge, but maybe some of these smaller downtown businesses. I'm a firm believer in let's support local, and let's make sure that our local restaurants and businesses stay here. And if we can help that, let me help that.
And it's also got to be nice because there have been supporters of Adopt a Day for years. And then I imagine there's also new organizations that are wanting to get involved and help out. Matt Schweitzer's photobombing us right now. So that's what's awesome is that people are maybe still uncovering what MCSA does, how you're serving the greater good every single day in this county of ours.
No, and I'm surprised by that. Sometimes I had a board member at one point tell me that she's still not completely sure of all the all of the programs that we have. So I'm constantly telling our marketing team is Jenny.
Right.
Can we please get some people in the doors to take a tour? Every time I give a tour, I feel it from the people that I'm giving a tour to. Like they are in love with what we're doing.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what political, genre you come from, you buy into what we're doing because we're not just throwing water on the fire. We're not just a handout. We're really trying to move the needle to end homelessness and to give people a chance for a better future. And there's so much of their own personal responsibility involved in that everybody pretty much buys into it. Just come on down and see us, see what we do.
And that's what can be tough sometimes because, for folks that haven't needed services at MCSA, but maybe someone that did, I think what they would tell you is that personal accountability is huge because here's what's not happening at MCSA. You're not just giving people everything at no cost. I mean, you want people to be set up for success because, Scott, ultimately, your goal is to not see them. Not never see them, but you want them to come to MCSA, get back on their feet, give them the tools so that they can go out, and whether it's through these programs that you've pioneered with MCC and getting good jobs and then affordable housing, but that's the goal, right? So sometimes the rub can be, the assumption can be you go to MCSA with your hand out, and it's part of that, but also that doesn't help. You always talk about the systemic issue. I mean, you really have to kind of encourage people. Yeah, the personal responsibility is something that they really need to care passionately about.
We've done what we could inside of the building.
Sure.
There's 30,000 square feet in that building.
Yeah.
And we've done what we could inside that building to try to surround the whole person. I'm always looking at Maslow's theory of hierarchy, and the bottom runs are safety and physiology. So are you safe and are you eating and healthy?
Sure.
So we've got the health clinic downstairs. We've added the food pantry now. Another great program, but it's difficult to run. It's difficult to support.
Sure.
We got dental services, we got vision services, we've got services to help upskill people to get them. There you go. There's more of the peer drop-in center. So we got the welding program to upskill people so that they can earn a livable wage.
Sure.
We've got a lot of federal grants so that we can help people get into housing fast. The nation's taken a housing-first approach. So instead of putting people in shelters, can we just put them in their home?
Right.
Yeah. I actually just came from a conference, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this information yet. Maybe you can help me formulate it. But Iowa City and Cedar Rapids did a study on what the cost of homelessness is.
Okay.
And so Iowa City in particular chose 4 people.
Okay.
4 people and followed them for 4 years.
Wow.
These were very chronically homeless people, the hardest cases there are.
Sure.
But again, it's just 4 people. And so what they did was they counted how much it cost for each emergency room visit they went to, how many ambulance rides they went on, and the cost of each of those, how many times they were locked up or jailed or had a police encounter, how many times they were sheltered, and what that cost was. And what they found is in 4 years, for those 4 people, $2.2 million.
Oh my gosh.
$2.2 million. And this wasn't good care, Tony.
Right. 2
of the people died at the end of that study.
Right.
That's how poor the care they were getting for that $2.2 million is.
Wow.
So it breaks my heart on so many levels. What can we do?
Right.
And so what they're trying and what they're showing is that if you just give them a home, we can significantly decrease that. They went from having 52 police calls per month for these 4 people to 2 police calls.
Wow.
Just by giving them a home. That's
a big deal.
So, okay, at the shelter, I'm looking at the systemic issues and how can I serve the whole person so they don't come back? And then as a community, what message can I share? What initiatives can I engage on to better care for these people on a full continuum? And that is affordable housing. We're 30% at least inflated on our housing market in Muscatine, and there's just not enough stock. So whatever we can do, and I'm working with some state senators and local businessmen to see what we can do to improve that. But it's a joint effort. It's a joint effort that we all need to get on.
That's what I was going to say. You have to have continued strong support from individuals and organizations, and then at the legislative level as well, because this is a problem that is bigger than just Muscatine, but certainly we're sitting. No, I mean
we're not alone in having an issue with housing.
Right.
We are the second highest housing cost in the area, only second to Bettendorf. So
that's wild.
All of the surrounding areas are all cheaper than Muscatine.
That's why it's like you hear that, and the assumption is that people just assume Bettendorf's more expensive for everything, but Muscatine is right there with respects to housing. So.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely have some issues that we're working on, and I think the thing to note is that there is progress being made, and people are going to work every day, like Scott and everybody at MCSA, to do good because they care. I mean, you didn't get into that line of work to not show up every day.
No, and again, we go
wanna
back
make
to
a
social
difference.
media, and I read that stuff too, and
Sure.
I'm uplifted to hear some of the comments I hear about that. There was another recent controversy about Carver Corner.
Sure.
And I saw some comments in that. Like I could go both ways, on any of these things. I can see both sides. But what made me excited about that particular post is I did see some people coming out in favor of we need more affordable housing. We need more housing.
100%.
Whether or not it belongs at Carver Corner, I'm not going to get into that.
Sure.
I was just uplifted to see that people are getting the message and they're starting to advocate that for that because if we want to develop this community, I mean my focus is on the most vulnerable. But if we want to develop this community, we're going to need investment on many different levels. We're going to need it on the housing level, the commercial, and the industrial.
And that's just where folks like myself, and everybody, I mean, if you're watching this, you can't turn a blind eye on problems in your own backyard, especially if they don't affect your day-to-day life.
If you don't put out the fire, it's just going to encompass everything.
And I refuse to just look the other way. I won't stand for it. And whether I can take a birthday and generate $400 from people understanding the importance of places like the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter, which will always have, a place in my heart because I understand the work that goes on.
That's because you're courageous and brave, Tony. You won't look the other way.
Well, and I'm not saying it's about. I appreciate you saying that, but I'm just saying, like all of us, if
And
you're watching this,
I'm trying to take your comments from this morning, the Facebook post, and the frustration that it's had there, and let's turn that more into a positive. Like you're brave, and you're courageous. You're willing to go on beyond Facebook. How many of you 430 people that were posting can go on beyond Facebook and get involved?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, just we have to not. We can't just talk the talk. We got to walk the talk, right? And that's what that can be hard. I get it. It is very difficult to contribute, to want to give. Maybe you feel like you don't know what you could give. I promise you, though, if you call this guy,
I can show you plenty of places.
And even if
the biggest need right now, honestly, is volunteerism.
There you go.
I need a lot of volunteers for the food pantry. We took on that food pantry at the beginning of the year, and it has taken off. We're serving over 200 people a day.
Oh my gosh!
So Pam, our food manager, she was telling me that it's over a family per minute that she's serving.
Holy moly!
And then we
That's
also
a lot to process.
It is a lot to process.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. So on top of that, we also changed from offering dinner to offering lunch.
Love it.
And instead of just serving people from MCSA, we're serving people from the community. So we went from serving 13 people a day to now we're serving 94.
Jeez.
Almost 100 people coming in to eat lunch. So obviously that takes a lot of manpower, and we could use all the volunteers we can get to help facilitate some of that. So.
And that's what's nice to hear because, again, we're not asking everybody to open up their wallets or purses, checkbooks, but if you can lend a couple hours a week or a month or have a group that wants to contribute some volunteerism, and then at the opposite end, if you've got just that, as I always say, that Scrooge McDuck vault full of money and you don't know what to do with it, MCSA would be a great place that would be worthy of your dollars.
Most people who come in and evaluate our financials are extremely impressed. We punch way above our weight. We operate on a shoestring budget. And payroll is very, very small part of our overall budget. So we have definitely found ways to stretch that money and make those dollars work for Muscatine. Just about every dollar I can get, I can turn into $5, based off of matching grants and all of this other stuff. So just really exciting stuff.
I love that we can show some of the needs on the screen right now. And, as I always say, whether it's contributing something for MCSA, you can see right there the different items that could be used as, donations, drop those off. If you ever wanted to contribute for the domestic violence shelter, you would also take those items to MCSA and just kind of let the staff know that it's for the shelter because that location is confidential for obvious reasons. But it's just nice to know. Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army on Facebook says, love MCSA and all they do to make lives better, giving a hand up, not a handout.
Greg is coming into town on fire. I am in love with that guy.
Right?
I am in love with that guy.
It's pretty incredible to get the box at the Salvation Army in town, and quickly they have just, you have to cannonball in, right? You can't toe the water.
And he really is. And, all hands on deck, whatever we can do to make this town a better place. And I think we do a pretty great job, of putting out the fire. We don't want that fire in town to blow up and take over everything else. And we do a pretty good job of that. But what can we do better? What can we do better? With an 18% poverty rate in Muscatine, can we lower that? I think we can. There's a lot of people that throw their hands up and say, there's only so much we can affect that. Muscatine's always going to be what it is. No, there's going to be progress. And we're going to make some changes. And I'm not naive. I know that sounds naive, but I don't think it is. We've done the studies, we've done the research. We're looking at evidence-based practices. If we can just implement these with the community support, we can make a difference.
And it's going to happen. It's happening every day. I mean, right now, as we're sitting here in the morning, it's, what is it? It's 9 o'clock, and what's happening in your building right now at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday?
Right now, there's a whole bunch of food coming in from all the grocery stores.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's never a dull moment. Maybe during the overnight, it's a little quiet at MCSA, but there's always something going on.
So, you wanted other updates. Our shelter numbers are low this year, so we are putting ourselves out of business.
Sure.
Woohoo!
Which is right. Ultimately, that's good. Yes. Yeah.
Our domestic violence numbers, unfortunately, are up.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that the program is utilized. I just, that's not how you want it being utilized.
Well, it's just really tough, right? I mean, like I said, 2 or 3 years ago at this point, I don't know, I was able to tour the domestic violence shelter because it was empty, and then a day later it was full. And I don't know exactly what the capacity number is, but it was empty, and then less than 24 hours or 24 hours later, it was full, right? So, it
can change pretty quickly.
We don't want the shelter to never be able to accept that woman and those children that are fleeing, I don't know, the situations that they are escaping from.
It's literally a life and death situation.
Absolutely. So that's why, for me, I
always try to roll out a bunch of those stats at the New Beginnings event. And so I encourage you guys all, if you hear this, inquire about the New Beginnings and see if you can come to the actual event. Because it's a pretty moving day.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's got a lot of energy. We just started our planning for that.
Yeah, it's so wild. I mean, April 6th, you can see we had a very successful New Beginnings, and the planning is happening for the event in 2020.
But when you realize how many women are actually being killed in a domestic violence situation, and it's the leading cause of death during pregnancy, that stuff it's terrible.
It's devastating to hear
I find the role I'm in sometimes difficult because you got to share stuff like that, but you still got to share a message of hope. How many people can we save? How many people in that shelter are being saved? And I'm really proud of the performance measures we put in place, and we're tracking, the successes of our programs. And I believe that shelter is putting out 80% of its women to safe and stable conditions, and they're not returning. That's absolutely fantastic. And that's again us putting ourselves out of business, and that's again showing maybe why our numbers are a little bit lower on the sheltering, because we're doing what we're supposed to do.
That's right. There's a lot of great work happening, and
we got the highest scoring grant in all of Iowa for rapid rehousing.
Wow.
Jenny Lirinus, if you see her, she's our marketing team.
Yeah.
Jenny and Marie Franke. We've actually added Marie Franke. But Jenny wrote that grant, and she's got the highest scoring grant for rapid rehousing in all of Iowa.
That's huge.
And so that rapid rehousing, it's that push to be housing first.
Sure.
If somebody does become homeless, or if they are in a domestic violence shelter, can we tap into some of that rapid rehousing money and get them right into their own home and give them the same services we'd give them in shelter, but in their home? And so we've actually won 3 grants for that.
Wow.
Yeah. And so again, I can only do that because of people's support, their financial support. I need a certain amount of matching money.
Absolutely.
So I turned $30,000 into $200,000.
Holy moly!
Yeah, and so Yeah, it's a big
That's
time
a staggering
stuff.
amount. Yeah, I did not know that.
So keep the money rolling in. I'm sorry, but it's good stuff.
No, that's really encouraging. And again, there's a lot to unpack when you talk about MCSA, and I know that, but it's always good to get an update. And if you're on Facebook and you check out MCSA Facebook page, Muscatine Center for Social Action, look for the Adopt-A-Day sponsors stepping up to the plate.
It's a big campaign.
Yeah, and I would say this: support the businesses that support MCSA and their mission. Right.
Last other plug is on the 26th.
Okay.
We're having our Peer Drop-In Center grand opening. So I think it starts at 1. There'll be very short remarks, maybe like 2 minutes of remarks. Mrs. Broderson.
The mayor's walking.
The mayor's walking through.
Surprise! I'm getting a key to the city. Oh my goodness!
So
September 26th.
Yeah, one of the neat things about that is, obviously with everything we have a financial ask.
Yeah.
But we've got local artists who were A, homeless, and B, experienced mental health issues. Mm-hmm. They're creating art that we're going to display on the walls, and then people can silently bid on the art to take home.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Pairing like an art exhibit with the grand opening. It's really low key, so refreshments, like 2 minutes of remarks, and then get to see all the renovations that were done.
That's a big deal. I love a good silent auction. All right, Scott Dahlke, MCSA. Online, you can learn more on Facebook, but I encourage you, go down to MCSA.
Come on down.
Ask about how you can help.
Take a tour. I guarantee you we will impress you with what is happening down there.
Absolutely.
And you will be that much more encouraged about how cool your community is.
Yes. I mean, how about just the dental clinic in the basement with the University of Iowa dental students that are giving free dental care to kids?
Dental clinic, vision clinic, wellness clinic, food pantry, lunch program, an after-school program for kids, mental health services, all downstairs. It's a little city down there.
Yeah, it's like a little city in here this morning. Like Scott, we've had some quiet days.
We've had quiet days. This is not one of them.
It is happening.
You got this new location. It threw me for a loop. I used to prepare notes when I came on this show, and now I'm like, oh, I got this. And then this morning you're like, yeah, we're going to a different area. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to tell people, like, we're not back in the old set. We're in the Market Grill Express. But luckily we ran into each other at Starbucks. This card is awesome. I appreciate
Pickles
it.
the hamster.
Pickles the hamster.
Well, Tony, you are a good dude, and you are involved, and you do keep your eyes out, so I wish I had given you more. I wanted to do this really cool prank gift. I just couldn't find it.
No, it's okay. Listen, I don't need anything.
Day.
If anything, I want to be the giver of things to MCSA and continuing to, at the very least, make you all aware. If you watch this show, you just kind of went to school, the school of MCSA, because I want you to know and understand what's happening in that building on Iowa Avenue. And if all you do is drive past MCSA, at least now you can have some empathy for the work that's going on and understand that people are there and the intent is to get them set up for success.
The other thing I want to make sure people are aware is we have a no turn down policy.
Okay.
So I want to make sure if anybody's hearing any of that, I want to know about it because we have a no turn down policy.
Okay.
Anybody should be able to come in and get services from MCSA.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. All right. Thank you for being here. MCSAiowa.org is the website. It's on the screen right there. Scott Dahlke in the house. The website's super easy to navigate, so keep that in mind. If you're looking for more info, if you want to get involved, if you work for a place of business that wants to be an Adopt-A-Day sponsor, talk to like an HR person, or if you've got like a local owner on site or a boss and say, hey, I think we should contribute and support what MCSA is able to do. And I guarantee you that person will at least want to get more information and learn more.
They'll want to get more information. They'll come on down for a tour. Come on down for a tour, see all the things we're doing. You're going to be impressed. We have a cool town.
Yeah.
And
I guess it
shows.
Has the check shown up with the fireworks tent yet? That should be hitting pretty soon, I think, right?
I'll have to check with the accountant.
The MCSA fireworks tent. Yeah, and I'm not putting you on the spot, and it takes a while to get all that stuff processed. We had the MCSA fireworks tent in the parking lot here at Hy-Vee. The tent literally collapsed.
And we still had the best year.
The best year ever, to the tune of like $19,000 from fireworks. So
that's another controversial topic.
Right, but in 3 years from fireworks sales, you're talking about what? $49,000 for MCSA, is that right?
Just under $50,000.
Yeah, just under $50,000. So once that check arrives from the Bellino fireworks folks, we'll talk more about that for sure. But again, it's just it's good to know all this
Check
is
out
happening.
the Facebook page. Come on in and take a tour.
If you've got a birthday coming up,
like Tony's
raise
saying,
money for MCSA with your birthday.
The Adopted
right?
Day sponsorship is an easy way to get involved in the MCSA culture.
Yep.
It's an infectious culture, and it'll take you over, and you'll be so happy that you were part of our culture.
And Karma Truitt is watching and just said, "Great job, Scott." Karma's been, with the domestic violence shelter for years. Judy Yates has been there for years. There's a lot of long-term folks that are super passionate, dedicated, committed to making a difference every day. And
we got a
fantastic.
great team. I couldn't be more proud of all of the work they do. They work tirelessly, and they work forever, and they keep those programs alive.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, their efforts should be recognized. It's not what they do it for, but somebody's got to say it, and I will continue to do that because it's. A lot of these topics are tough to talk about. I'm aware of that, right?
They are tough to talk about.
But we've got to have the conversations because y'all need to know what's happening in your own backyard. And I hope that you'll consider, just going, making that call, stopping down, getting involved. If it's an hour a month, imagine what that could do.
Come on down. You can serve lunch. You know, you can hand out numbers at the food pantry.
Yeah,
it's super simple. It's super simple to get involved. Obviously, I like it when people get involved monetarily.
Sure.
Because I can turn each dollar into $5.
Right. It's kind of like a magic trick. Yeah.
You got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
And everybody that, is interested in our town should also be interested in when the stuff MCSA is doing.
Absolutely.
I see it as taking care of a person, but I also see it as community building.
Oh, totally.
And I couldn't be more proud of our town. I think I've always said, our town is way cooler than your town, and I will die thinking that because we're doing a lot of innovative things in our little isolated river town.
Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of us. I'm really proud of us.
I appreciate your time. It's good to see you.
It's always
you, buddy.
good to see you, Tony.
Scott Dahlke, MCSA, in the house. He's the guy you can talk to, but really anybody on the staff would love to answer questions, give you a tour. On the 26th, stop down for the Pier Drop-In grand opening. And, if there's a cause or a service or a program that's offered at MCSA that speaks more to you and you want to contribute directly to that, I promise you there's ways to get you connected. It's really that easy. All right, cart cam, aisle cam, CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam. Nice little bird's eye perspective, everybody. Got the pharmacy in the background. And you can see in that shot, ladies and gents, there is the consultation room or the consult room where you get your flu shot. So walk in, see, buddy, you sign a little paperwork, and then you get your flu shot. And a 20-cent fuel saver will be handed to you. I mean, they don't really hand you the fuel saver, but you hand them your card. They scan your fuel saver, or you give them the phone number, and then they put that 20 cents on to your fuel saver. And it is awesome. Absolutely awesome to be able to save at the gas pump because you're keeping yourself healthy with a flu shot. So that's where you'll do that. You can always get the flu shot here at the store because there's always a pharmacist on staff. And again, no appointment necessary. Love the team in the pharmacy. We have 2 Sams now, Sam, and Nicole for our pharmacists. So there's taller Sam, and then Nicole. Sam, Nicole. What are the odds? We have 2 pharmacists, both named Samantha, that go by Sam, right? It's wild. And they're great, and I got the flu shot, and it was painless. All right, Toyota Muscatine cart cam. I told Steve to surprise me. That's just the kind of mood I'm in. I'm feeling like gambling today a little bit. So Steve is going on a trip. He is, what would be interesting, Steve, maybe, is to go by the old set where we used to do the show from. That is a good-looking display of some dips and trays, getting ready for, of course, the biggest college football game of the year. It's Iowa versus Iowa State. If you need to get anything for that, are you going to Ames to watch the game? Will you be hosting a watch party? Or are you just going to go, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to go to the Market Grill Express and watch the game with everybody at Hy-Vee because a $10 all-you-can-eat appetizer buffet sounds like a good deal. Over 150 different kinds of cheese. And I wonder if Don Fisher is working today. Our very own Don Fisher just received quite the distinction. He is a certified cheese professional or cheese expert. And there's only 100 of these folks in the country. and one of them works right here at your Muscatine Hy-Vee, Don Fisher. And I think he's right there, actually. Yep, there's Don working hard right now. So that's really cool. We got to have Don on the show to share more about that. It was a lot of testing, and the man knows his stuff. He is quite Gouda with his cheeses. There's Mike Church. Everybody's getting ready. It's not just a normal Tuesday in these pots. We've got a big day ahead of us, and we're looking forward to that. It's also, if I may pivot for a second, speaking of football, Touchdown Tuesday. So you come to the store, and you have your phone, and you're going to show this little doohickey right here, this little ad, and it's going to trigger a 30-cent fuel saver for you if you spend $30. Iowa Hawkeyes scored 30 points this past Saturday against Rutgers, and you will save 30 cents on your fuel saver when you spend $30. Now, I want to be clear on a couple things. To get this deal, you have to present this at the register. It is not valid online with Isles Online ordering because they have to enter that code 95412. Spend $30, get a 30-cent fuel saver today only. So if you're watching this live, or if you started it at 7:30 or even 10:30 tonight, at that point, let's see. So if you started the show at 10:30 tonight, it's just a little bit after, probably at 11. You would still have time to come out here, right? You show that. You can take a screenshot of it. It's on our Facebook page. It's on Instagram. Spend $30, get a 30-cent fuel saver. Now, our friend Jerry Proviance, who is, of course, Jerry's Outdoor Show. He's been on this show. We love Jerry. Remember, he brought a 14-foot fishing pole one time. Jerry asked, what if the Hawkeyes score 100 points? Well, it would be $1 off, right? I don't know if it's going to happen this season, but it's a valid point. And then to that comment, what if the Hawkeyes get skunked? There's no deal then, right? I mean, if they get shut out, and we don't want that to happen, I mean, what if they score 7 points? Well, $7, 7 cents. I mean, that's how we're looking at this, right? So Iowa State game, what's the final score going to be? I don't know. I bet the Hawks will score between like 21 and 42 points. I don't even know if that works out math-wise, but that's probably what will happen. So that'll be the deal each week. You watch the Hawkeye game, except for when they have a bye week, right? If the Hawks aren't playing, there would be no deal, so that'll happen at least once. But from now until November, the end of November, Touchdown Tuesday, Hawks will play Saturday. Take advantage of the deal on Touchdown Tuesday here in the store. Just keep an eye on social media, and we'll let you know what that deal is going to be. In addition to that, it's also Tuesday burger night here in the Market Grill Express. Nice hamburger, fantastic hand-pattied hamburger, fries, or unlimited tater tots. I'm probably going hand-cut fries. If I'm going to get my carbs, I want them to be hand-cut French fries. Those are the bomb. Those burgers are so good. Oh, my gosh. What's for dinner tonight? Why not have any burger you want, $8, add a fountain drink for $1. You show me somewhere else where you can go in town and have a hand-pattied burger with all-you-can-eat fries and a fountain drink for under $10 with tax. You can't. It's right here each and every Tuesday burger night in the Market Grill Express. We had bingo in here last night. Good turnout for that. I had breakfast for dinner. I don't know if you've done that recently. Omelet for dinner was fantastic. Extra side of sausage because low carb. Did I get toasted raviolis? I don't have to tell you. Yes, I did. You know what? I also burned 5,000 calories yesterday and took 13,000 steps. So it works out, all right? And stop making me feel like I have to justify my love of these toasted raviolis. They're so good. I don't know if you've tried them yet, but they're really something else. It's tough gigs, but somebody's got to call bingo and sample these menu items. I like that Jerry is tuning in as we just mentioned him. How about that? All right, what else do I want to tell you? Today would be the last day. Speaking of eating stuff that's delicious, how about a $3.99 tenderloin sandwich? And the rest of these ad items, they're done after today. So you shop these deals from batteries to Clorox wipes to chips and pain relief and Zevia and more. And then you come into the Market Grill Express after 4 p.m., grab that tenderloin for $3.99. A lot of people had those last night for bingo. They looked good. Today's the last day for that deal. And then listen, get the flu shot. I can't tell you how easy it is to get that taken care of here, right there. And then if we go, how about the gas deal, which I think that's still going on. It's not October 1st yet. Hy-Vee gas right across the parking lot. They're going to put 10 cents back on your fuel saver. I think I have about 38 miles till I'm empty, is what my car told me today. 38, 39 miles. Put some miles on the vehicle making those trips to 2 different schools, let me tell you. So when I redeem my fuel saver, I will go inside Hy-Vee gas. They will put 10 cents back on my card. They'll do the same for you if you pump 10 gallons or more. Really exciting, awesome deal. Best customer service out of any gas station in Muscatine County. I would put our team up to the challenge. They know their customers. They take excellent care of them. And only at Hy-Vee gas can you get 10 cents put back on your fuel saver card. I don't know if you understand that, right? Like right now, if I go to the Hy-Vee app on my phone, I'm going to the Hy-Vee app, and I've got 46 cents on the fuel saver. So say I went and got gas today, I would save 46 cents off per gallon, but hopefully it's more with Touchdown Tuesday. I would go into Hy-Vee gas, they would scan the fuel saver and put 10 cents back on it. So I'm already ready to add more at the pump. So keep an eye on that with your app. It's awesome. 46 cents. I mean, that's not bad. There's people that are paying a penny for 20 gallons of gas. That's a pretty incredible deal. And Hy-Vee, of course, the originator of the fuel saver and the only place in town that you can buy groceries and save on gas at the very same time. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I've covered everything. I feel good about it. I really like this card from Scott Dahlke. It's fun. I'll keep it on my desk upstairs. I don't even know what it says on the inside. Sleep all day, party all night, and get someone else to clean up your place. That's awesome, because hamsters are nocturnal, of course. And I got to tell you, if I could find a way, and how has nobody done this yet? I'm all for renewable energy sources. How are we not, getting power off of a hamster wheel? Because that hamster in my house he was getting after it. He was running on the hamster wheel for an hour straight last night, and I thought, he could be generating power for this house. You think I'm kidding? I mean, you put a solar panel on your roof. Why not find a way to run a wire from the hamster wheel? I'm not an electrician. Let me go on the record of stating that. But what if what is that the secret for MCSA? How can we lower their utility bill? Get a bunch of hamsters, and at night they're just running on that wheel. You know what I wouldn't mind doing is saving on my energy bill. I'm all for it. Is this the idea? It's more than just a kid's book about Pickles the hamster. It's hamster-powered homes, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to find that anywhere else. What else is he doing in that wheel? Come on. He's nocturnal. He's literally, this is not Pickles, but they sleep all day. They're awake all night. He might as well contribute. Not the worst idea I've had. I want to thank Scott Dahlke, the executive director with MCSA, Muscatine Center for Social Action, for coming on the show this morning. The peer drop-in location at MCSA is great. Of course, MCSA helps folks that are dealing with homelessness. They have programs to get them jobs and get them into affordable housing situations, but also, like Scott said, the food pantry and the services in the basement, and Robert Young with mental health services. Of course, the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter could always use your support, both monetarily and donation-wise. I always encourage you, and they do a pretty good job of getting information out. When places like the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter need things, they'll make a post and try and publicize, hey, the shelter's looking for. It's usually just the basics, right? Like toiletries or whatever. But call and ask, and just say, hey, is there anything that you need? And they'll give you that. And I would also encourage you, listen, I was impressed. I'd never done it before with the turning your birthday into a fundraiser on Facebook, and very quickly accumulated $400 that will go towards the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter. And I promise you that $400 is a lot, and that will help them with whatever they need at that shelter, right? I know that, and I've been involved with the shelter fundraising for years now, but I know that they could use that. And I hope that you'll get involved and get active in your community. And if you can channel that energy that you have and that passion that you have towards something good. And if you can get your kids involved or whatever the case may be, it's worth having a conversation. And Scott Dahlke will always be on this show. Everybody from MCSA is always invited, just like any other local organizations that are doing good work. And how nice is it to see Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army watching, leaving a nice comment, and understanding that the Salvation Army and MCSA can exist and work together and collaborate, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to improve the lives of folks in Muscatine. And that's a story that I'll continue to tell as long as I'm able to. And I appreciate that. All right, with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thanks to CBI Bank and Trust for the aisle cam. Can we go back to the aisle cam really quick? See what's happening in the pharmacy. Anybody getting the flu shot? Not right now. But get your flu shot. No appointment necessary. Walk in, welcome. 20-cent fuel saver when you get that flu shot. It's awesome. It's easy. Cold and flu season's here. If you have kids, I don't know why it happens. School starts, the colds come back. The cruds of the world. And that's not the same as influenza, right? Influenza is what can put you in the hospital. And, that's the serious stuff. That's what you get the flu shot for. Not to prevent against a stomach bug. That's different, right? I mean, I just want you to understand that. I'm not a medical professional, but I understand the difference between the two of those. So come out and see us. Thanks to Toyota Muscatine with the cart cam and team staffing. We'll have the job board for you tomorrow on the program. Touchdown Tuesday at the store. I'd like to leave you with that graphic. If you are following us on social media, show this at the register. Spend $30. We'll give you a 30-cent fuel saver. Hawkeye football scored 30 points on Saturday. We're doing this throughout the course of the season, and it's really exciting. And I also think I won my first week of fantasy football last night, which is, for somebody that doesn't pay attention, that's not too shabby. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Come see us today. We'll get you all taken care of. And if you were watching on cable, thanks for tuning in. RE/MAX open houses and houses for sale are coming up in just a minute. Email me if you need anything, hyveetoday@gmail.com. Get yourself booked on this show or suggest that we talk to somebody that's doing good work throughout Muscatine. That's it for us. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone.
Be very, very quiet while hunting wabbits.
We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community.
I'm trying to emote for the play that the alumni are putting on in Wilton this Friday, Saturday.
Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.